What's good everyone, my name is Magna, and today I have a very different kind of Phantom Forces video, and this is gonna be about me just giving my thoughts on the state of the game and how it could be better. Please just know that I'm not quitting the game. I'll still put out some gun breakdowns episodes, but I just wanted to give some opinions on what the future of this game could be because, I like Phantom Forces. It's a really fun FPS, but right now the way it's being updated is not exactly in the best way. But before I get to the main topics, please just remember that I am not a game developer. I don't know how to create or run a massive content heavy game, and my interests may not match those of the developers. And also please don't harass any of the devs or any other content creators and whatnot, as we all want what's best for the game that we all like, right? Alright, now with all that being said, here are some ways that I think we could fix Phantom Forces. Okay, first I'm gonna start with a really small detail, but that is about the UI/HUD of the game. The UI of Phantom Forces just feels really outdated, and I know this game's been out for 10 years, but I think in the year 2024 we should still have a decent looking UI. Now, I'm not saying it's hard to navigate or anything, but what I mean is just that the design is very bare bones and boring, and it could look a lot more modern or cartoony to fit the game's theme better, instead of just being a box with text. The same goes for the HUD. Again, it's just a box with some text and some dots there for the radar, and then also a box with text as the scoreboard or in the kill feed. Anyway, I know this is probably the least complained about thing, but trust me, a seriously fresh UI with some nice designs and some sound effects maybe could really make a big difference as players first boot up the game. Okay, now talking about a more obvious problem, the movement. If you really talk to most players or content creators, movement in Phantom Forces is one of the signature aspects of this game. It has its own unique, crazy movement mechanics that really makes the game fun. But in the past few updates, it seems like it just keeps getting constantly buffed and nerfed back and forth. Right now it's not very good, as you generally feel slower, and things like jump sliding are not as easy to pull off. The whole reason it's like this is that the devs seem to want to cater toward an audience they don't even really have. Now, I've seen people complain about movement and being super sweaty and abusing it, and I understand their frustrations. I definitely still struggle against people like that, but I know that it's just a skill I need to adapt to, and that happens in every game you play. You see people better than you get destroyed, but you can still learn from them. And if you don't want to try to learn the game, then just go play something else that's easier for you. So the fact Stylus is nerfing movement for the sake of new players, which by the way, Phantom Forces hardly gets any new players nowadays because most of the players I see are just long-term veterans or content creators. And it's just not fair to those who have been loyal to the game for years. They want the game to be casual, but honestly I feel like it already is casual, as there's not even a ranked or competitive mode. And yeah, I occasionally do see some new players, but it's not enough for them to make up the main player base. But what they could do is make an optional movement tutorial, or like give tips in the game about movement and gameplay, so that those who are struggling with that, they could have something to practice with. So yeah, I do think the game should have its old movement back, because it's just more fun for most of the players. The next thing I want to discuss is the spawn points, which are pretty terrible. I know it's not easy to balance spawn points on every map, and I don't even really know how the system works itself, but there just needs to be a way to prevent spawn killing, okay? Because so many times I literally start the round and I turn a corner and someone's already there, or like I spawn literally behind the enemies or where they spawn at and just kill them all, or vice versa, I just get instantly mowed down by them. So like what I would suggest is to just change the way the spawn point system works, or just add some kind of spawn protection, like a few seconds of invincibility, so that some players have a chance to fight back. And this also would help new players too, gives them a chance to, maybe not get instantly destroyed when they first spawn in. Anyway, I don't know how much work it would take to fix all this, but I know the devs are more than capable of fixing something like this. Alright, Now here is another kind of niche complaint, but I think some sort of ambience would be really nice. Like, is it only me, or like when you spawn in, it's just dead silent? Now, ambience, what do I mean by that? I'm talking about maybe being able to, like, to feel the environment, like to hear a small breeze, or the trees moving, or the desert sands blowing, or machinery humming in the background, just stuff like that when you're playing on maps. Like, and it doesn't have to be super loud or anything, because you probably still want to be able to hear footsteps and gunshots, but little things like that are just sometimes kind of nice. And also, it'd be really cool if like the soldiers had voice lines and stuff, or if there was an announcer, kind of like similar to like most Call of Duty or Battlefield games, because again, it would kind of just make the game feel more immersive and give it a little bit of personality. And I know some of you guys might be thinking like, well, this isn't a AAA open world game, and like, yeah, I know it's not, but other shooter games like, Arsenal or like Bad Business, they do stuff like that, so why not do the same here? Again, really small complaint, but I think it would make the game a lot more high quality. Okay, well, those are just some things that I could think of that could maybe make Phantom Forces just a little bit cooler. Again, I know not everyone will agree on everything I say, but I hope that any dev or creator out there sees this and maybe considers these suggestions. I know the devs are still working on the game, because like the test place right now is being filled with a lot of like new guns and maps already, which is great, but I think the game would seriously benefit from a solid quality of life update. And also, firstly though, they should really consider understanding their audience, because again, most players of the game now are long-term vets or content creators. New players are scarce, and if they can't adapt to the game, oh well. I feel like the community is putting more effort in than the devs. Like, people are submitting new gun models or new maps, or they're just making really nice content on YouTube, and that's great, but they don't get credit enough, I feel like. And really, the devs are here to like have this game to pay their bills, and I understand that, but that sense of passion and community feedback is just not there anymore like it used to be. And I understand it's hard to stay on top of something for 10 years, but if it's really coming down to this, then maybe it's time to hire some new team members or something. I don't know, but yeah, that's all I gotta say. Again, I'm not a dev, and all I could do is give feedback, but I hope that going into a new year that maybe Phantom Forces could change for the better. Anyway, feel free to drop a like and sub to the channel, and let me know your guys' opinions on the state of Phantom Forces down in the comments. But thank you all again for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.